Welcome back to our weekly market wrap-up. Equity markets faced a decline for the third consecutive week as global trade worries, weak economic growth, and FPI outflows kept investors cautious. So, stay tuned, and by the end of this video, we'll unpack the key drivers behind these losses and what lies ahead. This week, the Sensex fell 0.6%, while the Nifty 50 dropped 0.5%. The mid-cap index saw a slight decline of 2.4%, and small-cap index fell 4.2%. These declines reflect growing concerns about global trade and economic growth. Let's take a look at this week's key economic updates. India's forex reserves dropped by $8.7 billion to $625.9 billion for the week ending January 10th. Foreign currency assets declined $9.5 billion to $536 billion, while gold reserves rose $792 million to $67.9 billion. The HSBC Flash India Composite Output Index fell to 57.9 in January, a 14-month low, though still above the 54.7 average. Manufacturing PMI improved to 58, up from 56.4, but the services sector slowed down. Globally, Japan posted a 130.9 billion yen trade surplus in December, reversing November's deficit. However, its manufacturing PMI remained in contraction at 48.8. Singapore's core CPI rose 1.8% in December, slightly below November's 1.9%. The Bank of Japan raised interest rates to 0.5% as inflation surged, with core CPI at 3% and headline CPI at 3.6%. Among this week's top gainers, iWipro surged 13.5%, reporting its fourth consecutive quarter of margin expansion and reaching a three-year EBIT margin high. CGCL climbed 11.8% on doubled year-over-year profits in Q3. Zensar Tech rose 10.6% after beating consensus estimates by 2% and reporting its highest ever order book. On the downside, among the losers we had, Newgen dropped 25.9% after lower than expected Q3 results, and a downgrade by Jefferies. Scient fell 23.4% due to reduced revenue growth guidance and weaker EBIT margin projections. India Cements tumbled 2.1%, with widening net losses of Rs. 429 crore in Q3. A quick highlight from the unlisted equity space: Apollo Green Energy, the renewable energy arm of Apollo International Group, plans to launch its IPO in Q4 2025. Farmeasy is revamping its IPO strategy, focusing on improved cash flow. Hexaware Technologies secured SEBI approval for its Rs. 9,950 crore IPO, marking the largest in the infotech sector. Here's what to watch in the week ahead. The domestic stock market is gearing up for the Union Budget on February 1, 2025, where Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is expected to focus on infrastructure, manufacturing, and technology. Additionally, the Q3 earnings season continues, with major companies like NTPC, Tata Steel, Bajaj Finance, Cipla, and Sun Pharma set to announce their results. On the global front, the US Federal Reserve will announce its interest rate decision on January 30th. US Q4 GDP growth data and China's NBS manufacturing PMI for January will also be released next week. That wraps up this week's market highlights. Next week, the focus will shift to the Union Budget and its implications on the economy and markets. Subscribe to Tikona Capital for more insights and wealth-building opportunities from the themes of the decade. Visit us at tikonacapital.smallcase.com to explore thematic investments in the Amrit Kaal. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. See you next week.